past few years, there are books that have become staples in the book community. Books that have been critically acclaimed, sparked massive controversy, or books that are just so weird people can't stop talking about it. And I have purposefully steered clear from a lot of these because honestly, I think I hate them. But lately I've been wondering if I am too close-minded. I mean, is it possible to read too many rom-coms? To find out, I decided to pick out all of the popular books that I think I would hate and read them. The first book I'm reading is unfortunately Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. It's a science fiction romance. I've never read science fiction romance, never wanted to read science fiction romance, never wanted to read about aliens. It's honestly, I feel like known on Book Talk because it's like a meme at this point. This was not by my choice, but Madi was relentless.
I want you to say with your chest that you're gonna read Planet Barbarians for a YouTube video. Say it. Please, you have to.
I'll read Planet Barbarians for you.
Yes, bro!
Planet Barbarians it is. Luckily, it's a pretty short book, so wish me luck. Halfway through Planet Barbarians, and I have some thoughts. First of all being, what the hell is going on? Layout of the plot is basically these 12 Earth women are abducted by evil aliens. However, the evil alien ship then crashes onto an ice planet full of other aliens. And these human women are basically stranded on a planet full of blue alien people. The main girl, Georgie, goes off to find help and runs into the MMC Vectel, who is like a big blue alien guy. I'm thinking like the blue Avatar people from the blue Avatar movie. Kind of like that, except with horns. They run into each other and he helps save her because she's not doing well out in the cold. He basically takes her back to a cave and break it. I've never truly been a sci-fi girly. I don't like space. I don't like aliens. Truly, that's none of my business. Already, it wasn't really up my alley, but I will say it's a very easy read for one. Surprisingly, I actually dislike the main girl way more than I dislike the blue alien man. He's kind of fucking chill. I hate to say it. Georgie's just really dumb as rocks. I don't like the writing and how like a lot of her dialogue is going. To be clear, I don't like it. But you know, I'm not that mad at it, okay? They didn't even for real big bangy till right at 50%. And you know what? Listen, if you ignore all the weird body mod shit that the guy's got going on, and I don't know, guys, not the worst thing I've ever read. The guy's a certified eater. On this channel, we're gonna acknowledge that without fail. This is embarrassing. Anyway, I think I'm gonna finish it today, probably. Okay, so last night I finished Planet Barbarians, and that book was insane. Actually, it was crazy. And if you consider talking about the tropes that happen in the book as spoilers, and there will be some minor spoilers ahead, I wouldn't say I was on board with Planet Barbarians, but I did read it in one day. It was smutty, and the main alien guy, he was pretty down bad for the main girl. He was kind of chill as fuck. And up to the halfway point, I wasn't having that bad of a time. I mean, it was like weird for sure, but it was funny and it was like really easy to read. And then, you know, the last like 25%, that's when I started to get a little freaked out. It got a little too much for me personally, specifically with the pregnancy tropes. The pregnancy tropes in this started to go batshit crazy to where she didn't even know she could get pregnant from this guy. And then he was like, duh. So I kind of hated that. She just didn't freak out about the pregnancy enough for me personally. It was about half a second of, oh my God, what? And then it was like, but when I saw the happiness in his eyes, girl, you've known this man beast alien thing for 4 days. It's just not gonna do it for me. It just doesn't work for me. And they kept, for some god awful reason, anytime they would talk about like spies with like the surviving human women, they'd be like, nookie time. Gross. That's nasty shit. Do not piss me off. Like I said, I'm not typically a sci-fi person, but you know, when it comes to like aliens and space and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, if it's a little unrealistic, doesn't really bother me, like even with the timeline stuff. But I'm sorry, if you keep talking about the pregnancy tropes, I'm gonna get icked out. And there was a lot of it in this. A lot of it. Like the alien men there, their only goal is have baby. Other than that, I don't really have a ton of thoughts on it. There's like 50 million books in this series, but what's the worst thing I've ever read? Can I say I'm adding the rest of the books in this series to my TBR? Probably not. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. The next book I'm about to read, I have seen everywhere, in every bookstore, in every book talk, bestseller, all the time. For years, I have seen A Little Life. I hate to say it, this book has never once looked appealing to me. I'm totally judging book by a cover here. The man on the front to me looks like a crying Elon Musk. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hate the cover. It like pisses me off. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Say it's probably about men. Don't care. Also, some of the reviews are saying that it's like, oh, it's a modern classic, critically acclaimed, whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna give the same vibe as like a Sally Rooney book, and I personally cannot stand Sally Rooney books. So if this is a book about just a bunch of insufferable people, I'm gonna be pissed. But it is really popular, and that's kind of the point. I think I'm gonna hate it, but maybe it's got awards for a reason. Who's to say? I will after I read some of this. Like 11:30, and I'm definitely not halfway through this book because this book is a million light years long, but I am like a little bit over a quarter. And basically this book covers a friend group of these 4 guys living in New York City in kind of a nondescript time period. I guess that's why a lot of people say this book is kind of timeless. It seems modern, but it doesn't explicitly say when it takes place. And we get Willem, JB, Jude, and Malcolm. But with where I'm at in the story so far, it's covering everybody and a couple of side characters, but mostly it seems like everything's kind of tying back to Jude. So I think it's gonna be like mostly about his story. I don't know, it's kind of confusing. There's like not really a streamlined plot at this point, which is well over 100 pages in. It's heavy, definitely a shift from Ice Planet Barbarians, I will tell you that. And honestly, at this point, I think it's dragging for me because I'm not really connecting with any of the characters. I don't think that's a big surprise. I don't normally connect with male characters. but specifically not these guys. I see a lot of people crying over this book on the internet. It's hard for me to stay immersed in this book when none of the characters are really speaking to me. I'm not super invested in anybody, and it's sort of jumping all over the place. With a book like this that covers such a long period of time, with it not having a super streamlined plot, it makes it very hard for me to stay in it. I've been listening to the audiobook also, which sometimes can help. It's not helping so much in this case because I just feel kind of bored. I can see why people say it's well written, especially coming from Ice Planet Barbarians. There was a little more thought probably put into the writing. I think that's safe to say, but I am bored. Tomorrow, Madi officially moves out after staying with me for a few months, so I'm going to be helping her pack and listening to the audiobook and reading where I can. So I'll probably do a check-in tomorrow evening, hopefully with a better update. Definitely a bummer though. Say boo, Madi's moving out.
Boo! This sucks. He wants his toys.
And the cats are moving out too because they're actually not my cats. They're Maddie's cats. I'm gonna make Madi listen to this fuck ass book.
It's not the worst.
Hell. It sounds like Sally Rooney, does it not? Hey.
Good. Don't be mean to her.
Ew.
Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Turn it off.
I'll miss you.
I'll miss you. I'll see you in a month.
Okay. I love you.
Love you. Relax.
Well, I've spent most of today moving stuff, and then I went and got food, listened to the audiobook when I could, and in the car I made Madi listen to some of it, just to prove my point that it does in fact sound a lot like a Sally Rooney book, which in my eyes, not a good thing. I don't really need a book to make me feel existential. I do enough of that on my own. And I was right to assume that thinking this book was very similar to like a Sally Rooney category, that it probably was not going to be the book for me. For me, I personally think just because a book is sad and like depressing as hell doesn't mean it's deep and intellectual. You know what I mean? It's just like not very fun to read. And I know that not all books are supposed to be fun necessarily, but I'm not connecting with anybody. It's not making me feel anything in specific. I'm not crying over these characters. I don't even know how this book ends, truly, but with how it's going, melancholy at best. And I like to read books that make me emotional and have heavy topics and big overarching themes. And I am typically a pretty emotional person, but this just like wasn't doing it for me. I typically like to read stories, if they're gonna be heavy and kind of all over the place, at least let it be about women. Compared to books I have read that cover similar topics, like Boys of Tommen that we've been reading recently, this one just really, I don't know, it's fallen flat for me. An unpopular opinion, but I feel like a lot of the hype around A Little Life has like just kind of like an air of pretentiousness that I really cannot get behind. Now, I do feel guilty about this because of the nature of this video, but I am going to DNF it. I just have to. My head hurts, I'm bored as hell, I'm not having a good time, and there's no point in me continuing to read over 500 pages of a book with characters that are not connecting with me at all, that I'm not interested in, and genuinely, to be frank, do not care about in the slightest. I'm just gonna call it here and decide to move on to the next book. I don't know, it's just not doing it for me. A Little Life was a flop, and that's okay. I'm gonna shake it off, go on to the next one. Hopefully get my mood up a little bit, but we'll see. Because the next one I'm going with is Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. I've only ever read one dark romance, and that was like 2 years ago. I think I rated it like 2 stars. Hated it. Madi read this one, and it was one that she recommended that I read for this because I know there's things in Haunting Adeline that like a lot of people really don't like. I know there's like some dubious consent stuff happening, which is not my vibe. At this point, I'll read anything because A Little Life was for real gonna put me in a book slump.
you recording? Oh!
Well, I've basically done fuck all today, besides reading this morning. It's been a bad reading day for me. Just haven't really wanted to sit still. So I am gonna put my earbuds in, listen to this audiobook, and try to finish restoring this vintage vanity that I've been trying to restore for many months. Okay, so I'm halfway through Haunting Adeline. Let's give the plot. This book is a dark romance and also like a psychological thriller almost. I don't know if it's actually classified under that, but I would classify it under that. It definitely reads like a thriller. It follows Adeline Riley, our FMC. She's an author who inherited a Gothic manor from her late grandmother. That's haunted? While she's getting settled into her new house, she discovers that she has a stalker just hanging out outside her house all the time, named Zaid Meadows. And Zaid, while being a part-time stalker, also leads this vigilante ring of taking down human traffickers. So we're definitely getting into morally gray. Now, I will say with Adeline, I am kind of obsessed with her. She's like an adult Wednesday Addams, like not romantic enough to be Morticia, but definitely like something's wrong up there in that head. This would be a perfect book to read in the fall. I understand why when Madi did her video reviewing this book, it was in October. Now, it's a dual POV book, so when you get Zaid's POV, it starts to lose me a little bit because Zaid's POV has been very gory and violent, understandably so, I guess. He's also like a vigilante, you know? He's like saving women and children, but he's also terrorizing this woman. There's some hypocrisy going on that's kind of been hard for me to like wrap my little brain around. And as of right now, I don't have like a set opinion on him, but I will say this book has definitely caught my attention, and I'm gonna chalk that up to it reading so much like a thriller. Addie's POV is really fun and really intriguing. Zaid's, I'm not totally on board with it yet. Maybe after a little life, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not in a male POV headspace. Maybe the male POVs need to get the fuck out of my face. Maybe that's why I'm like, ugh, get out. I don't want to hear about you. I just want Addie's point of view. I don't actually want to deal with any of your shit. You're freaking me out. It's gory, it's gross, and you're violent. But when it comes to the actual romance, because I know this is supposed to be a romance between Adeline and Zaid, I'm just like not totally there yet. There is definitely dubious consent packed into this book, at least in the first half. Not my jam. I'm sorry. Truly, calling anything that Zaid is doing less than assault is like a bit of a stretch for me. And it is addicting in like a really fucked up way, which I think is like a common theme for the dark romance girlies. Dark romance girlies, you can let me know. He's being insane and awful to Adeline, but he's also like a predator hunting, crime fighting vigilante. So, I don't know. I'm gonna read the second half of this. I'm just very confused on how they're gonna get from point A to point B with the Zaid and Adeline romance, because right now, no, I'm sorry. So me. I'm sorry. Crazy time. Okay, I finished Haunting Adeline, and for starters, with Adeline. I did like her POV chapters better, but I tend to like books where I can relate to the main character, at least in some capacity. And at first I was like, oh, she's like kind of like spooky things, and I don't know, lives in this cool gothic manor. Love that. And I was definitely catching on to the fact that she likes to be scared, and that's just a big fat no for me. There's a whole like bundle of chapters in the second half of this that takes place at like a haunted theme park, which is my personal nightmare. You will not catch me at one of those. Universal's horror nights, no. Six Flags, whatever they're called, Fright Nights, absolutely not. You're not catching me at that. I'll roll over dead before I go in a haunted house. I think maybe if I enjoyed being scared more, I could have maybe understood the dynamic between her and Zaid, but I really don't. When I get scared, it's not fun for anybody. And for Zaid's POV chapters, I liked the chapters where he was being like a vigilante and like taking down really evil people. I liked that, and that's part of the plot that I really enjoyed. But when it came to how he was treating Addie, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. There were moments where I was like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this. And then I was reminded of previous situations or conversations, or something would get taken too far, and then I'd be like, oh no, you've ruined it. Now you've ruined it for me. And now actually, I don't like it so much. He's been like for real evil. I didn't believe it like at all, which like, again, it's fiction, it's a dark romance, you're not supposed to believe it. But there were still parts where I was like, he could have done anything better than the actions that he did. At least between Zaid and Addie, they're just not my ideal fictional couple. However, on a good note, the actual plot of the book, aside from the romance, like all the things happening with all the evil men and all the evil societies that Zaid is trying to bring down and how that intertwines with Addie's story and her haunted house, was all really interesting. And I think that's why this book was so addicting to read. Like, I did read it pretty quickly. And I know a lot of those things lead into the second book because this ends on a pretty big cliffhanger. All that said, I think I'm gonna rate this 3 stars because I did have a good time reading it. But like, if I were to only be reading this for the romance, no. Reading it as a thriller, yeah. So 3 stars from me. I genuinely thought going into this video, at least one of these books, I'd be like, wow, I was totally proven wrong, 5 stars. And then I'd have this aesthetic shot at the end of like putting a 5-star book on my shelf after saying I was gonna hate these books. That didn't really happen. I didn't really love any of these books. I didn't hate them, but they definitely were not like my fave or anywhere close to 5 stars. So maybe I know myself a little bit better than I thought I did. Womp womp. That's gonna be a blooper. Great. Okay.
I'm sorry. I just need you to move. I'm sorry. I have to sit.
I guess I'm standing. Okay, and the cats were right. Cinema!